In this video, I'll be doing the maths question you see on the screen here from paper 2 of the 2024 Maths Leaving Cert exam. If you're looking for a different question from this paper, check out the playlist in the comments below. I'll be doing all this on a whiteboard, hopefully like you're used to your teacher doing. But remember, you're not in a classroom here, we're on YouTube, so take advantage of that. Pause, rewind, watch a half speed or watch a 2x speed. If you do find these videos useful, or any of my videos, I would greatly appreciate a like or subscribe, but especially I'd appreciate you sharing it with a friend doing the Leaving Cert or doing it next year. Question 9 sets up the question revolving around this sort of map that we see here. It's on a coordinate geometry thing. This is some sort of pond or stream, they say. It's really a circle. Think of a circle here with centre C. We have a line here that'll be later in the question and a point P here. And they're going to ask us just loads of questions about this. Oh, one more thing. Every unit in this, so x is 10 to x is 9, 8, every unit is equal to 100 meters. So that's going to be important in a bit later as well. Okay, for part A part 1, they simply ask us to write down the equation of this circle. They do tell us, well, we have the centre up there, and they tell us the radius is 12. So this is straightforward. We just take the centre, x minus 1 squared plus y minus 17 squared equals 12 squared, which is 144. And that's it. That's the answer to part 1. In part 2, they tell us one of the, I think it's a racer, this is some sort of adventure race. They tell us they're at point A8. So what's this? It's part 2 and the point A8. And they are on the stream. Oh, I see what this is. So this line itself is a stream. There's land here and land this side. Okay, now I understand the image. A8 is on this stream here. What is A? So really A8 is on this circle is all they're asking. So how do we do that? You know what, let's do it down here. We put A in for X, we put 8 in for Y, and we solve it. So A goes in, A minus 1 squared plus 8 minus 17, that's minus 9 squared equals 144. You could multiply this out and get a quadratic, so just be warned, that's a different way you could have gone here. But you could also just leave a minus 1 squared equals, what's this? This is 81, so this is 144 minus 81. Yeah, let's continue over here. We'd get a minus 1 squared is equal, let me just double check what that is, 63. And we could just take the square root of both sides. A minus 1 is equal, let's be careful here, plus or minus for the moment, square root of 63. A is equal to 1 plus or minus square root of 63. The only thing they told us, A is bigger than 0. And that makes sense because A is in the first quadrant over here. If A was a minus, which it looks like 1 minus square root of 63, yeah, that answer is probably over here somewhere. So there's probably one answer over here and one answer over here. So we need to get rid of one of these answers. We need to write A is 1 plus square root of 63 because it needs to be bigger than 0. They wanted us to leave the answer in third form. So that's the answer for A part 1, A part 2. A equals 1 plus square root of 63. For part 3, they tell us someone here is Pedro is at point P. What's the shortest distance from P to this stream? So what's the distance from this point to this circle? And that's it. So many students get confused by that. Distance from a point to a circle. Distance from a point to a circle here. Because I think they start thinking about the distance from a point to a line, and there's an equation for that in our book. So they start thinking of some complicated ways to do this. But really, the distance between a point and the out of a circle is actually just the distance between the point and the centre minus the radius. So if we find this distance, or in this case this distance and take away the radius. That's all we need to do, because really we're looking for this distance here. So how do we do that? First we need to find the distance between these 2 points. We'll call that D. The distance formula is square root of the differences in the x's. So 10 minus 1 squared, plus the differences in the y's, 6 minus 17 squared. And what's that? That's 9 squared plus 11 squared, or sorry, minus 11 squared. It's always going to be positive. That's 81, sorry, square root of 81 plus 121, which is equal square root of 202, which they wanted the answer in the nearest, they wanted the answer to the nearest meter. So if we put this into the calculator, we would get something slightly, it's going to be slightly confusing, 2.21267 says going on there. So a lot of students might have left 2 as their answer, nearest meter. But you do have to remember that this is units. This is 2 units. 2 units of x or y or something like that. That's 2.2 units to go there. Every unit was equal 100 meters. So this is actually 221.267 meters. To the nearest meters, 221, or to the nearest meter, and that's the answer for part 3. Okay, part B is surprisingly simple, but so many students got it wrong, so I'll try and explain some things, and I'll even point out where you could have gone wrong and what you need to remember in this question. So they say there's a straight line, a path, that's not shown on this picture, that's parallel to the y-axis, and it's a tangent to the stream, to this circle. So that just means it's parallel to the y-axis and it's a tangent to this stream. It's just something like that. Let's draw the circle again. It's something like that there. They even tell us it's in this first quadrant, so don't worry about over here. Like the stream doesn't exist over there, I guess. And they simply want us to find the equation of this line. They even give us help. They tell us that, remember, the radius is 12. So if you just think about a circle and a line, gets quite simple, but I'll just first warn you what students probably did wrong. What a lot of students probably did wrong was they tried to get the equation, the slope of this line, and then the slope of that line, and that you end up dividing by 0, and your answer sort of doesn't make sense. I think if you use a letter that approaches 0, you can make it work, but that's a bit too difficult. Actually, I guess the first trick here, a lot of people, you need to find this point. And what is this point? It's 12 away. Let's put in the x-axis here. This point down here is 1 on the x-axis. Down here it's 1 here. So what point, yeah, I can do that up here. That's 1 on the x-axis. So what point's over here? It's 12 to the right. So this is just 13. This point here is 13, 17. So we have a point right there. So a lot of students then at this point, because this is very common to get the equation of a tangent to a circle, even you might end up looking it up and get confused. We find the slope of this line inverted, find the slope of this and get the equation of a line from that. Don't bother doing it. It's silly in this case because it's a straight line. Any line that goes straight up or straight right and left, it's very simple, the equation. The equation of this line is just x equals 13. That's it. That defines every point on this line. This line here, the equation of this is just y equals 17. That's all there is to it. This one actually works. You can put in the slope of 0 and use either of these points to find it. This one, it does work if you use a trick of, like I said, the limit of something approaching infinity. But still, you need to remember, straight line is x equals, straight line up and down. Straight line right and left is y equals. And that's all there is to this question. Y equals 13, full marks. Right, in part C we finally get to this line here and they tell us a little about it. This line is a W, I think it's called. is the equation of it is x minus 3y equals 9. That's the equation of this line. And they want us to find the coordinates of the point on this road that's closest to the point P. So that would be, the trick here is to know that's a right angle. That's a right angle here to that. They do give you a clue or two. It might be useful to find the equation of the line through P that is perpendicular, so a right angle to W. The equation of this line coming down like that. Actually, let me just draw that again so I don't ruin this picture. Straight line and a point. Okay, you're not looking for the shortest distance here. We're looking for this actual point here. And they pretty much explain how to get it. We get the equation of this line that's perpendicular, which is 10, 6. So how do we get the equation of this line? We need the slope of this line, but there's only one point. So what do? We find the slope of this line here. And we can do that because they give us the equation. The equation tells us everything about a line, including the slope. If we rearrange this equation, so it's, take the x over equals 9 minus x, divide everything by minus 3, y divided by minus 3 is minus 3, minus x divided by minus 3, just the minuses cancel. If we change the order of this a little, instead of x over 3, how about we write it as 1 over 3 times x? That's the same thing. Minus 3. Okay, that's more common how we write an equation of a line. Y equals, y on its own equals. This here is now the slope. So the slope of this line is 1 over 3. The slope of this line here, I should really put m1, m2. The slope of this line is just the inverse of this, which is minus 3. So remember, we're still looking for this point here. So, but they gave us the clue to find the equation of this line. We'll see why in a moment. Equation of this line, let's just use the equation formula. Y minus a point on the line, or y point on the line, 6, equals m, which is minus 3, times x minus 10, from this 10 here. And we just clean that up, it's already done, like really, but y equals minus 3x, that's plus 30, minus 3 times minus 10, plus 30, plus another 6 is plus 36. And we just, that's it, that's the equation of this line. We're still looking for what they asked us though, this point here. But now we have the equation of this line, the equation of that line. We just put them equal to each other. We can use these two here, or we can use these two here, whichever you want. I'll use these two. Save me dealing with a 1 over 3, which nobody likes doing. Let's just write this guy again. X minus 3. Instead of y though, I have y equals already done out here. Minus 3x plus 36. And back over here. So I've just wrote x minus 3y equals 9. Clean all this up, get all the x's. Let's see, we get minus 3, but minus 3 is 9. So 9 x's plus another x, we get 10 x's. Minus 3 times 36 is 108. Let's write that in. Minus 108 equals 9. Over here we get 10x equals, putting this over, we get a 117. Let me just double check that's the answer. 11.7. Yeah, 11.7 for x. But we're not quite finished. We still need y. Still need to know what y is. You can do that with any of the equations here. Let's use this one here. Y equals minus 3 times 11.7 plus 36. Put that into a calculator and we get 0.9. 0.9. Always make sure you give them the point they asked for. Well, at least I like to do. Is that what they find the coordinates? Yeah, they asked for the coordinates. So while I think you'll get full marks for this, just give them exactly what they asked for. A set of coordinates. There we go. That's full marks for part C. In part D, they tell us I can't quite pronounce that name. So Fayad maybe is at the point 90, which I don't think they tell us, but they're on the road, and they're at the point 0, so that must be 9, 0 there. That's not really important to the question. They're at a point on a straight line on a road, and they travel 1,200 meters along the road from point F. So the road doesn't go that way, so they must travel that way there. Find out where they stop. Simple, like find out what point do they stop at. We don't need this big complicated picture. Here's a road. They start here and they end somewhere. We assume they end somewhere on the road, maybe at the end of the road, but let's just say here somewhere. Yeah, how do we find that? We know the distance is 12. So they say 1,200, but I've rubbed it out. Remember, 100 meters is equal to 1 unit. So it's 12 units along. So how do we do this? We need to find this coordinate. We know this coordinate. We know this is 9, 0. So really we just have to find how far this way and how far this way, and we'll have the coordinates. So if we can solve this triangle, and there's a few ways to do this question, by the way. The easiest way to do it is to use the fact that from the previous question, we have y equals 1 over 3x minus 3. That's the equation of this line here. So we know a lot about this line. We know the slope of this line. We know the rise over run. For every 1 we go this way, we go a third that way. Or maybe better to think, every 1 we go up, we go 3 this way. But not just 1, we don't know how many ones. 1 something. Let's make up a letter. I don't like using X or Y here, so have we used, I think we used A in part 1. We'll use A again. 1A this way, 3 A's that way. So really we just have this triangle, a right angle triangle. That's 12, it's A, and it's 3A. And you can go ahead and solve that. That's just Pythagoras theorem. That'll tell you that 3A squared plus A squared equals 144. That'll just be 9A squares plus another A squared, 10A squares equals 144. A squared equals 14.4. A is equal, put that in a calculator obviously, is equal 3.7947. That says going on. So that means we've gone up from here. So this coordinate, because you're not quite finished, you get a lot of marks for that, but you're not quite finished. You've gone up a amount. So you start at 0 and you go all the way up to 3.794, but they only want 1 decimal place, so that's 3.8. 3.8. And now you've gone across 3A's. So what is 3A's? I don't think I wrote that down anywhere. A quick edit later, and here's the answer: 11.384. I cut it off, so that's probably only accurate at that point. That's 3A's. But remember, we moved 3A away from 9. So this point here is 9 plus 3 of these A's. So 9 plus this is 20. 20.384. So the nearest point is 4. 20.4. Which, just double checking the answer I have here. Yes, 20.4 is the answer you get here. So that's one way to do this question. There's a couple of other ways to do it. Actually, I see it in the marking scheme. They do away with a different triangle where this is 1, that's 3, and this is an unknown, and that's a good way to do it, because we know this unknown is actually equal to a multiple of, well, it multiplies by something to get 12, so that's an interesting way to do it. A better way to, well, sorry, not a better way, a different way again, because this is very similar. A different way again would be to another triangle. You know this length's 12, but when you know the slope of something, and a lot of students often forget this, when you know the slope of something, you actually know the angle of something. The angle here is tangent of this angle is equal 1 over 3. So this angle is equal to the inverse tangent of 1 over 3. And that's, did I work that out? Yeah, I have that here. That's 18.4 something. So this is a right angle triangle. So from that you can find the height and the distance, these same numbers will come out and you'll get the same answer again, 20.4 and 3.8. There's one other way to do it, a much different way in fact. We start here, we go along a line, and we go along some distance 12 along the line. I won't do this one, it's a bit longer. Actually I have half of it done here, so I guess I'll show you. And we know we go 12 out. So if you had a compass, you could put 12 on your compass and just mark it off. Let's continue that around. That's a circle. You can get the equation of this circle because you know the center, 9, 0. The equation of this circle, I'll put it in here, is just x minus 9 squared plus y minus 0, which is just y squared, equals the length is 12, 144. And we know the equation of this line here, it's what was it, x minus 3y equals 9. You just have an equation, two equations. You can go ahead and solve these, put these together. You'll get two answers. You'll get one answer here, which is what you're looking for, is this answer. You'll get another answer down here somewhere, which will pretty much be minus, I guess it'll be 11. Yeah, it'll be this same distance away this way. Whatever it is, you'll know the difference. It'll be clear with this answer. It'll be in the minus world first of all. Let's do it over here. You'll get you'll get a circle here. One answer will be here, another answer will be somewhere down here, maybe even the other side of the x. It should be quite clear that that's wrong because you're in the minus y world and they want you up here. Either way, you should be able to find the same answer doing it that way. So that's at least three very different ways to do that answer. That's it for question 9. If you have any questions about any of these different ways, let me know in the comments. I'll do my best to answer. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.